guys, welcome to Clockwork Dandy Noodles for another reading of The Journey Begins, my blog, of course. Today's video is a bit of a longer one because I remember writing it and I think I was spamming words on the page after this experience. So it's an important one that we must talk about. I hope you guys are doing well. It is starting to heat up over here and I saw my first bug. Bug is mushi in Japanese, which is gross. It's not good. Today's blog is the 13th of August, Nagasaki, home of the best ramen, ? I will say, and chip in now, not anymore. It got usurped recently. This was valid until a certain amount of time. Temperature, 34 degrees. Food eaten, tomato broth ramen at Hiiragi, and Dr. Pepper. Visits to the Atomic Bomb Museum, Peace Park, and Glover's Garden at Amu. Feeling bold and adventurous, I planned a trip to Nagasaki with a fantastic tour guide. Nagasaki is one of the places I would bet most people would have heard of for more sobering reasons. My day started bright and early. Saga station was nice and quiet, and I had the chance to navigate getting tickets. My Japanese sadly failed me, but I successfully sorted tickets by speaking to one of the clerks. Locating the train was straightforward, and I memorized the switch. I was initially sad when I believed I wouldn't be seeing a Shinkansen for a while, due to my location. But I was pleasantly surprised when my guide informed me I was actually on one. I just wasn't doing the speeds. Chipping in here, I still refuse to this day to believe it is a Shinkansen. It might look like a Shinkansen. It's not a Shinkansen. Nishi Kyushu, I see you. I see you. Lies. So I have, since that trip, been on a Shinkansen for 11 hours. Trust me, I know what a Shinkansen is. I see you. Now, as well, looking back on it, getting a ticket in for a train in Japan is really easy. You can even now use the QR codes on your phone. Something I should do, but I'm really lazy. But I should do it. But you can also do it. A lot more of the rural places are starting to take them. But do check where you're going. And also check if you can use an IC card, because there are some places where, no. Right. The landscape transitioned into rolling hills with a beautiful view of the sea, triggering nostalgia for childhood car trips to the beach. Nagasaki was beautiful, and I quickly found the more I explored and learned, the more it was a prefecture after my own heart. Nagasaki was a happy medium between sleepy rural Saga and bustling Tokyo. It was more of a hilly prefecture with many beautiful islands to explore. I certainly aim to explore more of it as it is so close. We'll say I finally did Gunkanjima, still have Itoshima to chase after. It's gonna happen. There's plenty of stuff. I also wrote some more recent blogs about Sasebo and my love for Sasebo and Saga-gyu, which is a weird one because Sasebo is actually really close to Saga due to its location. If it was maybe, say, 50 meters back, we'd be crossing into the border because it's so close to Imari. Almost everything you can think of is covered. Penguin aquariums, corgi cafes, arcades, and history everywhere you look. But tons of places to escape the noise of the city. Little parks and rivers dotted around within walking distance. It is perhaps the first time since I arrived I found myself relaxing. The Peace Park was quiet and the sound of the fountain added to the atmosphere. Gonna chip in, the Corgi Cafe is not in the city. It is actually in Sasebo. There's also a beautiful cat cafe in Sasebo that I still have to go to. It's a cat cafe and they have a open plan wheel where the kiddies get to run. It's beautiful. Was gonna get one for my own cat. Very expensive. I love her, but not quite yet. I had narrowly missed the memorial events, but the place was still thought-provoking. I would recommend a trip to anyone considering a visit to the prefecture, maybe even to follow after a trip to the Atomic Bomb Museum, as the museum was pretty heavy and it covers a lot of dark material from our recent past. I can understand how wanting to escape to a quiet park would help. The temperature felt more bearable in Nagasaki also, perhaps due to its proximity to the sea. Gonna chip in and say that's also lies. It can get equally as hot. Saga does have the sad point of where I am of being flat, and we do catch a bit more of the sun. It hits 39 degrees a lot. Nagasaki, I see you. You've also hit 39. I've seen it. After visiting these places, we suggested a much needed change of pace to Glover's Garden. Hidden away up a hill, the whole place felt more like a garden visit would in the UK, at home in the National Trust. National Trust versus English Heritage. That's a question. If you ever ask a history nerd, most of us have something to say about the National Trust. I do prefer English Heritage though, but it did feel like a National Trust visit. Thomas Glover hailed from the beautiful land of the Scots and is credited from being a key figure in aiding of the modernization of Japan's shipbuilding and coal mining industries. Glover's house is up a hill, but hey, they have you covered by including an escalator. The first thing to become apparent to any visitor is the Western-style house. I noted a lot of buildings on the approach which also fit this vibe, giving it a very European vibe. The house is spacious and the pond is full of koi, awaiting a kind visitor who wishes to feed them. Gonna chip in again and tell you it's because of the Dutch influence. You can also go see Dejima, but I'm actually gonna chip in and say it's actually... I was disappointed. That was me. Because in the history files, and I looked at the history files and it's its own floating island. It's supposed to be shaped like a fan as well, and it was really pretty. They blocked it in. It is no longer an island. It's actually like... They dry docked it, okay? In terms of dry docking, you dry docked your island. Why? The views from the garden are gorgeous because of how high it really is. You get a beautiful view of the harbour and surrounding cities. Sections of the city sleepily sprawl out up nearby hills. It made me a little homesick for the first time, as it reminded me a bit of Cornwall. But I am happy to know that for the same price as a ticket to London, I can visit this prefecture easily. The highlight of this trip, the gem in the crown, so to speak, was my tour guide's suggestion for dinner. I have long been a fan of Mike Chen, watching his food videos as he travels around the world. It inspired me to eat more and travel. I recall Mike Chen covering tomato broth ramen one time, and it must have been as I was curled up under a blanket feeling the cold of the UK. Quite the comparison to me now just thinking about throwing myself into a shower to escape the clinging humidity. Mike Chen, a shout out to the man who has multiple stomachs and has rented so much stomach space, it is a mystery to me. But yeah, I can't even remember. I think he had it in China. I feel like he might have had it in China because China has something similar where they have a tomato broth version with noodles. So it's very similar. It is very rare for me to change my rankings when it comes to the best ramen. The offerings within the UK are nice, but they are few. Up until this point, fried garlic tonkotsu Fukuoka style was king. Chipping in, it's actually Kumamoto style. Liars! The process to the ordering system was a ticket machine, like you will see in many places in Japan, to give you a hint of whether it is authentic or not. Most places will sell the broth, and you can edit and you can change on the machine the types of toppings that you put onto the ramen. That is how you know it is traditional and authentic. There's one near me, it's cheap, but they don't do any drinks. And that's generally how most of the authentic places are. You go in for your food, you get out of it, you skedaddle. I already planned to try tomato broth ramen before I'd even set off for the day. Anyway, it was on my list. There was actually a place in Fukuoka I've been highly recommended to get tomato broth ramen. There's also a place in Saga, still haven't checked it out, but many different places now that I need to compare. So I opted for the bean sprouts, garlic, and extra pork slices. It comes with a fried eggplant pieces as the base. The broth first hits me, and it is rich, slightly thicker than standard ramen broth. It covers the noodles more evenly, and the taste is very evenly balanced. The punch of the garlic pushes through nice and politely. The fried eggplant caught me off guard, and I am usually not a fan, but it was on a whole new level. Could you even call it eggplant anymore? It took it the whole new flavour of its own, and the texture was nice in contrast to the firmer noodles. The crunch of the bean sprouts also adds a great texture to break up the rich broth of the ramen. I had a few minutes to try and adjust myself to the fact that my world had now changed. I cannot remember the last time I ate something that nearly made me cry, but in a good way. It was beautiful and the company was awesome. The ramen has easily topped my best ramen list, and there is no comparison for me. Its flavour is rich and its toppings add new notes to the broth. I am irritated at my lack of Japanese, as I wanted nothing more than to convey my thanks to the chef, but I could not. I fully recommend eating at Hiiragi and trying the tomato broth ramen just once. I am told that the lines can be lengthy, and I can see why. If I lived in Nagasaki, I also would be a regular in no time. I am hopeful that my journey around Japan can be full of more moments like this. Moments that I can recall later down the line and smile at, wishing for another bowl of heavenly noodles. You may have guessed by my username, but I am a huge fan of noodles. My trip to Nagasaki so far has been the highlight of my Japan story, and I am excited to see where the next chapters take me. Back to chipping in again. That is a tomato broth ramen vending machine in Haneda Airport. It's on my to-do list. I want to go. It's maybe something I can tick off at some point. But I've been told that if you guys are coming to Japan, because it's more likely you're going to be over there than maybe Nags, though I'd say everyone skips the rest of Kyushu, and apparently Nags is the only place that exists in Kyushu, you know. And Fukuoka too. Fukuoka is the 4th biggest city in Japan. There is a Haneda airport. I believe it's at the international departures or arrivals. Maybe it's just in the lounge before you go through security. You can get there and you can get the ramen. I know it can sell out. So if you are looking for it and you want some tomato with ramen, try it. But then if you are in Tokyo anyway, there will be many places. I still need to check out the recommendation for Fukuoka. And one day when I have time, I need to hit the one in Saga because it's really close to the station anyway. So you need to check it out. But I fully recommend you guys check out the broth ramen. It's really good. If you are curious to what has overtaken that, I don't think I've written a blog on this yet, actually, now I think about it. There is a place in Saga that does, they call it Stamina Bowl. And you might find it in 7-Eleven because they sell a version. It is noodles, broth, which is really thick. It's normally garlic infused. They come with bean sprouts. They have big, chunky pieces of pork chashu. Now, ramen toppings aren't really everything. With ramen, it tends to be the flavor and it's quite subtle. And in Japan as well, food isn't supposed to be big, but this is different. This is, every time I've eaten there, I feel really full and I wish that I had more stomach space. Even if I could starve myself for days and I still wouldn't be prepared for this bowl. But it is something that I would recommend you try. Apparently it is a chain, so if I ever get, I'll find the link for you guys, put it in the space bar below, and you guys can check it out if you are on a trip here. But thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're coming to Nagasaki, do check out Glover's Garden. It is cool, and we'll definitely eat into some time, and you get a beautiful view anyway. There are better things to do now that I've been here a bit longer. There's actually a very nice shrine tucked away, which, have I written about? Maybe I need to write about it up too. But there is some more stuff to do. There is, of course, Sasebo. There's Itoshima if you want to do something a bit more urbex. Itoshima over Gonkanjima any day. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys again soon. Mwah. Bye bye.